The first time I died, I was 23. Now, probably at 23, there isn't much of an impact on other people, maybe a girlfriend, but I'm still alive now at 50, and you've got various needs from my injuries. So when I was riding around, it wasn't the way I was riding on the day of the accident, but I used to ride, it was a big sports bike, not like a Harley, a racing bike, like a sort of thing. And I rode that bike like a maniac. I loved pulling power wheelers on it. Just my God, it's called a Fireblade, and it's just like it would lift off just on the throttle, screaming down the road. Yeah, yeah. So, so in fairness, if anyone was going to have an accident, it was going to be me. The irony was it was a straight road, dry, headlights on, car pulled out of a side road looking the other way. So the irony is never lost on me. You couldn't have told me at that age. So at what age would this kind of thinking kick in if we say that most people are leaving higher? So the people that aren't in higher education are the McDonald's worker and the car wash. They're the low skilled element of the population by and large. And then the high school and university graduates are the more management and that sort of job. So what? No, I lost the question again. God dear. It's all right, but I've got 3 or 4 things. Mary Lynn, dive in and save me. Well,
Okay, so in your story of your being 20, being reckless, doing whatever you want to do, you're enjoying your life, right?
Mm.
When do you expect a curveball? We don't. Maybe at that younger age that we just never thought about curveballs, or maybe we did, but I think, and I will just speak for myself, is that in that age group, okay, my father was a CPA, but even as a CPA, he never really taught us about money management. Where do you go? Who do you ask? And it's not taught in schools. Well, I guess, when I went back to college when I was 30. So by that time, I kind of already knew about money and all the other things, the expenses I would need. But I think overall, what you're saying, being reckless, we're just living, we're 20-year-olds, we're living, we get to do now what we couldn't do when we were teenagers, right? And so now that's what we're doing. And so who would have thought that there was something else going on? And who'd have thought that we had to look after for ourselves and for our parents or anybody else,
That reminds me of the question. Thank you very much. It's how old do you have to be before you start even thinking that you need to plan?
The younger, the better.
Yes, as an actual fact, definitely I agree with you. The truth of the matter, though?
I think it depends on situations that come up that affect you. A lot of people say, something happened to my grandfather who I dearly loved, and he was almost killed, and got me thinking about how I would take care of him or something like that. It's just life happening, I think, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
There's a type of advert that's been on the TV in the UK. So we pharmaceuticals can't advertise in the UK, so there isn't the same pressure for treatments that you get in the US. But you can have adverts. So it used to, right? So the 2 main adverts are equity release. So the home owning generation releasing money on a loan, which they then pay back when you finish the house and inherit the house. But that is a high interest, reasonably risky strategy, but there's adverts for that, and the other adverts are for either over 50s plans or prepay funerals. So I, after one of my events, paid for and organized my funeral. I've got Linkin Park in the end, and Slayer's Postmortem and Rain in Blood as my music for my funeral. That's all done. I prepay for it. The plans are like an insurance thing.
Mhm.
And they hope that you live for a long time so they can collect more than the actual cost of the payout. What's the situation like stateside, where the commercial environment is so much more, I believe, active?